Today we will talk about what is specific for our area in Europe and for the country in Europe, Germany, where we are acting. So as Germany is part of EU, there is two types of regulation applied here. The combined one, the European one, and also in addition, there is some local regulation in Germany. So the agenda is we will have a look for the European regulation, then for the German regulation, then we will have an overview for the personnel responsible in front of both regulatory bodies. Then we will conclude. First, we can have a look to the European regulation, which is, I think it is known for all of you. It is European Medical Agency, which is regulate the rules in Europe. It is a decentralized agency of the European Union responsible for the scientific evaluation, supervision, and safety monitoring of the medicine. It is served in the European Union and European Economic Area, which include European Union in addition to Iceland, Norway, and Liechtenstein. EMA practices pharmacovigilance to ensure the safety and efficacy of medicines. And EMA is not involved in clinical trials, research, and development. Individual countries in Europe can choose to approve drugs that the EMA has not approved. So who is member in EMA? EMA works closely with the human and veterinary medicine regulatory authorities of the member states of the EU and EEA. The medicines regulatory authorities of the member state, which is called national competent authorities, are responsible for the authorization of the medicines available in European Union that do not pass through the centralized procedure. Centralized procedure is when the medicine are registered centrally in EMA. So all the regulation law are collected and arranged in what's called good pharmacovigilance practice, which is a set of measures drawn up to facilitate the performance of pharmacovigilance in Europe. GVB applies to marketing authorization holders, to EMA, and to the medicines regulatory authorities in EU member states. They cover medicines authorized centrally via the agency, as well as medicines authorized at national level. You can have them here in this website, and I think it is good to read and good to have a look, even for non-EU bodies. The obligation for reporting was changed, and since the notification came from EMA on May 2017, in that announcement that as of 22nd November 2017, the obligation for reporting is only electronically to EMA, and at that point, no more reporting to the local agency in every European country. And the obligations since that time are for ICSR originated from EU, if it is serious, within 15 days, and if it is non-serious, 90 days. And if the ICSR originated in non-EU only for serious reported within 15 days. This is by marketing authorization holder. Also, the requirement applied for competent authority in member state when they will receive ICSR. So only for EU cases, serious, it will be 15 days, same, and for non-serious, 90 days. All of those cases will go to database in EMA, which is called Pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance is a system of managing and analyzing information in suspected adverse reaction to medicine, which have been authorized or being studied in clinical trials in European Economic Area. The EMA operates the system on behalf of European Union Medicines Regulatory Network. Now we will go to the German regulatory authorities. We have two main authorities. First one is called in abbreviation BfArM, which is the Federal Institute of Drugs and Medical Devices. And here is the website. And this is a German name. So it is an independent federal higher authority within the portfolio of the Federal Ministry of Health. It is responsible for licensing, improving the safety of medical products, also detecting and evaluating the risk of medical device, and monitoring the legal traffic of narcotic drugs and precursors. The second German regulatory authority, which is called PEI, the abbreviation for Paul-Ehrlich Institute, which is a senior federal authority reporting to the Federal Ministry of Health. It is responsible for research, assessment, and marketing authorization of the biomedicines of human use and immunological veterinary medical products. Its remit also include the authorization of clinical trials and pharmacovigilance, which means recording and evaluation of potential adverse effects. Now we will go to have a look and compare the function of the personnel responsible of those two regulatory bodies, EMA and German authorities. So both German and European law require a responsible and appropriately qualified person for pharmacovigilance. In Germany, it's called graduated plan officer in English, and in German, Stufenplanbeauftragter. In Europe, it is required to have qualified person for pharmacovigilance, which is called in abbreviation QPPV. QPPV and GPO are both responsible for pharmacovigilance, but under different legal regimes. GPO under national law in Germany and QPPV in European law, under European law. The GPO is a counterpart of the QPPV. Almost they have identical core tasks, which they are establish, manage, and oversees the pharmacovigilance system, monitor safety profile and the risks, act as contact person for the authorities. According to the German law and BfArM, both GPO and QPPV are intended to be same person. Only intended, but not legally required. In certain cases, it can be useful to have separate GPO when the QPPV is not situated in Germany, or if the QPPV is not familiar with German language and or legal situation. So, especially regarding liability risk, it is necessary to have someone who has capable of the ensuring conformity with German law. So is GPO required for centrally authorized medicinal products? Even the German law interpreted in conformity with European law does not require a GPO for centrally authorized medicinal products, but still the German pharmacovigilance duties still have to be met. In this case, the German law would require another person to perform the task of the GPO. And the responsibilities of the GPO are border, requiring the pharmaceutical entrepreneur to adapt the German obligations, irrespective of the extent of the GPO beside the QPPV. German language recommended for the communication with the authorities. Difficult transition of EU law by the German legislator. On the one hand, GPO is equal to QPPV, but on the other hand, no coherent adaptation of obligation under German law. So if we will compare the GPO with the QPPV, so we can have general idea about the difference. Here you can see the legal basis, GPO according to the German law and the QPPV according to the European law. It is necessary for every pharmaceutical entrepreneur in Germany, but the QPPV is important for every marketing authorization holder, is required. Notification to the authority, it is also required in GPO and in the QPPV case. Qualification for GPO should be qualified, a reliable person with the required expert knowledge. The QPPV qualification is according to module 1 in GVP modules. Residence and workplace, GPO should reside in EU, and the QPPV should work and reside in EU. Permanent availability is not clearly mentioned in the German law, but from our experience with German authority should be available 24 hours 7 days. Also same for the QPPV. The key task for QPPV, it is establish and maintenance the MIH pharmacovigilance system according to the module 1 of GVP. In addition, the GPO has to set up and management of a pharmacovigilance system, collection on and evaluation of notification on medicinal product risk, and coordinate of the necessary measures, compliance with obligation to notify, providing additional information to authorities where requested. The type of defects, QPPV responsible for medical defects, while GPO responsible for medical and technical defects, according to the German law. So more than one person may act the regulatory rule. In GPO case, personal liability of the GPO is possible. For the QPPV, liability of the MAH only, internal responsibility of the QPPV. It means the GPO personally liable according to the German law, and also liable to MAH, and also liable for law of Ministry of Health, Federal Ministry of Health in Germany, while the QPPV liability only of the MAH pursuant according to this law. So now if we will have a look and compare who is responsible for what in general. what extent the GPO and the QPPV complement each other and divided their tasks and responsibilities. In general, the QPPV should follow the European law, and GPO is under German law. Only local responsibilities following the provision of German law. German law cannot supersede European provisions. Deviating duties of the GPO can only exist within the scope which is left by European law. In the following two slides, you can see every task in pharmacovigilance in Europe and German law, and the responsibility of GPO and QPPV. Also, from the same table, you can have a look about pharmacovigilance system in Europe in general. So the task of establishing and maintaining pharmacovigilance system are for both collecting and evaluating information on medicinal product risk and risk profile are applied for both. Informing the qualified person pursuant to according to the German law, it is limited to the GPO logic. Submitting pharmacovigilance related document as required is applied for both. Ensuring quality of the pharmacovigilance data submitted applied for both. Collecting and supervision of medical risk applied for both. And the next three are applied only for the German GPO, which they are collection and assessment of safety and security relevant technical quality defects. It is limited to the GPO according to the German law. Fulfillment of notification requirement according to the German law, it is limited for GPO. Personal liability in case of infringement of regulatory duties is applied only for GPO according to the German law. Providing additional information to authority upon request, responsibility of both. Acting as pharmacovigilance contact point for the competent authorities in member state is applied for both. Coordinate necessary measures is applied for GPO only. Providing input to the preparation of regulatory action in response to emerging safety concerns is applied for both. Liability for injured patient in case of infringement of regulatory duties, it is only for GPO, personal liability. The responsibility of quality deficiency of the drugs used in clinical trials is responsibility of the GPO. So in general, QPPV general obligation regarding the supervision of pharmacovigilance system, GPO some additional task regarding specific action and responsibilities. So we can conclude from this short presentation that both German and European law are applied for pharmacovigilance in Germany. Both German and European law require a responsible and appropriately qualified person for pharmacovigilance. Both QPPV and GPO have to fulfill their obligation under the respective statutes. QPPV general obligation regarding the supervision of pharmacovigilance system. GPO has some additional tasks regarding specific action, also responsible for technical quality defects. Thanks for your attention. And this is the contact for any question or any query. I am ready to receive in this email. And this is the contact of my company, which is a single stop point, providing all pharmacovigilance regulatory affairs for any company want to be in Europe or Germany. Thanks.